So, my rather rough looking seat arrived from eBay for $25. It did, funnily enough, come with the spare screwdriver as well, which sits in here, as some of you may or may not be aware. And what I'm going to do is start pulling all of these staples out, which I've already done one, with the screwdriver that came with it. So that was handy. So yeah, I'm going to get all of these staples off all the way around, and we'll see what's on the other side. Well, we can see already there's some of that horrible yellow foam. It's already coming out the side, and I don't think it's actually glued on, so that's good news. We might be able to just peel everything off. Bear with me and I'll show you. Alright, so we've got all the staples out of this thing now. So this is the moment of truth. If you ever wondered how this is made up, let us just remove. Oh no, there's one staple left. Quick, get that out. There we go. Right, I'm trying not to drop all my staples on the floor. All right, so here we go. Peeling off the outer sheath reveals the foam covered base. Now there's one staple right here which must have missed the outer cover. I don't know where this bike has been, but it's rusted on half of the staples. All right, so now the moment of truth. How sticky is this foam, if anything? Not at all. Oh, there's one more. Yeah, we're just going to rip that off. There was one more staple at the back. There we have it. That is pretty cool. So we've gotten rid of, I know this compresses, but that is about, what, an inch thick. So we've gotten rid of an inch or 25 millimeters of height. So the next thing to do is to cover this in some kind of material. And we've now dropped our seat height by whatever thickness of foam we're going to put on here. But I'm actually pleased with that, so we don't need to worry about these side bits. We're just going to get something to cover this area. It could even be one of those surfboard sort of things, situations, and we just cover that. So that is kind of cool. All right, so next job then will be to find something to fill this in. I might even put a little bit of epoxy resin inside here to fill out the gaps, but that might not even be necessary. Depends what type of foam that we can find. But yeah, good. Well, that was easier than I actually thought it might be, so excellent. So this is the stock seat, so you can see the angle of my legs here. If I get into the tuck position, or if I'm in my sort of braking position. So I'm going to try and get a back-to-back image of this with the other seat. Okay, so this is the lower seat unit. I'm in the tuck, or if in my braking position, and I'm going to take an image again of this angle. See if you can see any difference. Okay, so the next step was to rub down or cut off all of these little puncture marks from the staples. So that took a little while, and I did sand this back where the slightly damaged part was, nothing too worrisome. So we're ready to put some foam on. Well, I did take the liberty of swapping the heavy steel bracket, and I've remade that in aluminium just to save that few extra grams. So that was kind of cool. And then, so there's the metal, there's the original one. And then we've got the foam arrived, so I'm going to open that up. And I think my plan is not to cover the whole thing. We're probably going to shape it along this line here, and then just keep it inside the sort of shoulder area of the seat, if you know what I mean. We don't need anything here, and I'm not really going to put anything in there. I think it's going to be sufficient that the foam is going to hold itself in place, and as long as we don't start poking it, it'll be all right. So let's see what the foam looks like and how sticky it's going to be and all that business. I think to do this, I'm going to cut the backing of the foam for this part, stick it down there first, and then start to work around it, peeling off little bits and bobs to stick into these areas. I know what I'm saying, but I'm not describing it very well. All right. So there you have it, back installed in the bike, bolted in. So I really like the shallower profile, and that foam is not very thick, so that's good. It's nice and sticky. I did put some relief slits in the foam so it would stick down around the contours, but I might not have even needed to do that, to be honest, but still looks really good. I did it this way with the checkers kind of horizontal to try and grip my body going forwards and backwards. It's not the grippiest of foam, so in that direction it doesn't seem to be so grippy, but in this direction, of course, it's grippier, so that's why I did it that way around. So I'm going to have a sit on it and see how I feel. Another idea would be eventually to add some foam to this whole area at the front, so that keeps my body back as well. So I'm obviously thinking about that too. So there she is, all buttoned up. I'm not going to be able to give you any feedback for a while because I can't get out on the roads just now, and I won't be back on the track until July, but yeah, it looks like a neat solution. The other benefit, of course, of this is that you get a little bit more feel to the back of the bike. You're not sat on a 2 inches of foam or 1.25 inches of foam which softens any feelings. You can actually feel more things directly into your bum, so there is a slight added benefit there as well. So yeah, you'll see if I do anything creative with the sponge at the front, but yeah, I'm very pleased with that, how it's turned out, and fingers crossed it gives us a little bit more stability and strength on the bike eventually, and just gives me a little bit more of what I need. So I'm gonna leave the video there. Thank you guys for watching again. I'll be back with any more news as always. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.